Well, hello everybody. I am Lucky Wood, and I am very pleased to have you here with us tonight. We are live at 10. So yay. Um, might have people popping on, might not. We'll see. We're having I was having some technical difficulties on my end as far as I literally just left a side job, um, came home to no internet, live out in the boonies, kind of similar to Casto. So, but we are here, and Jessie will be joining us here shortly. So we're super excited to have her. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the predictions for EVW next week happening on the pay-per-view. It is sold out. So congrats to East versus West and Ingen for selling that event out in person down in, I believe, Florida. And then yeah, it'll be he posted a thing saying like where should he have it in the States again. So I guess it's coming over here more than just the one time. So that should be cool. It opens up a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. So that's really cool. Um, so as far as our predictions for what's going to happen next week, there are 10 of us co-hosts, and I was able to get 6 predictions in on time to be able to share the stats with you. And we might ask Jessie her predictions when she gets on as well. So, the first match was Coach Ray versus Ryan the Bull, and we have 2 for Coach Ray and 4 for Ryan. We have Enric, Enric. Not 100% sure. I was gonna look it up, but like I said, I had no internet when I got home, so I couldn't look up some of these names. So bear with me. Don't cancel me. Versus Jonathan Brita. That we actually it was everybody went for Brita for that one. So Jonathan, lucky ones is 0-6 for supporting your side. So or 6-0, I should say. Alexandra versus Elizabeth Mosek. So that is 5-2. So I did get a 1 for that, and so 5 for Alex and 2 for Miss Elizabeth. So good luck, ladies. We are behind you. We are excited for this matchup. Congratulations on being the only female match on the card. So awesome. That's awesome. We have Hunter Knobs versus Doug, and all 6 of us went for Hunter. And then Corey West versus Travis Bajan, all 6 of us went for Travis. There's one more that all 6 of us went for. Ooh, Jessie has entered the chat. So 1 second. I don't know if it's okay. There we go. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the dead air. Hey, girl.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Am I on video or do I need to start that?
If you could start that, that'd be awesome. We do not see you yet.
Oh, I see. Okay. Ah.
Yay!
Sorry,
How you doing?
I had to update my Zoom app. I was like, oh, of course.
I was about to message you, but then I realized I couldn't. I don't have service at my house, and we're in the middle of a really bad thunderstorm, and so I
Oh,
literally no internet. iPad was down, MacBook was down, phone was down, watch wasn't connected to anything. I was
The
like,
worst.
this is literally like giving me palpitations. But
Yeah.
it ended up working. I'm currently getting canceled because I'm reading off everybody's predictions for what's going to happen at East versus West next week. So,
Oh, nice.
I think I was at match number 6. I I was gonna look it up, but
Vresh?
I'm sorry.
Is it Vresh? It starts with a V.
Yes, thank you. That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Right. See, this is why you're equal.com. Thank you. Resh versus Paul is actually split in the middle with 3-3.
Oh, okay.
Lars versus Matt Mask, we have 2 versus 4. 2 for Lars and 4 for Matt. Giannis and Justin surprised me with 3-3.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's gonna be a fun match to see. Frank Lampanelli and Dave Chafee. We have 2 for Frank and 4 for Dave Chafee.
Yeah.
Mendegas versus Artem. We have 2 for Mendegas and 4 for Artem. Tom Holland has 1 fan in the Lucky Ones podcast. The rest of the cast is pulling for Craig Toulier. So uh
I gotta agree. I think Craig's gonna take that one.
Camille versus Michael Todd. This also surprised me. We had 4 for Camille and 2 for Michael Todd. So
Okay.
good luck to both.
I don't
Uh,
know. Michael Todd's been on a winning streak.
he has, and that's why it surprised me a little bit. But um, all legends must fall. All win streaks come to an end. You never know who it's gonna be that stops it.
True.
Rustem versus Paul Lynn is another sellout. 6 for Paul Lynn. So come on, Paul, bring it home.
Yeah.
And then Evgeny and Todd Hutchins. We have 2 for Evgeny and 4 for Todd Hutchins. And then this is where it gets a little dicey. We got Leonidas versus John Zink. 1 for Leonidas, 5 for John Brzink. And then Alex and Jerry Cabaret. I think I said that right.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I've ever heard it.
Okay, cool. It's split down the middle. 3 for Alex and 3 for Jerry.
Okay. I think that, I mean, obviously that's like the main card one. So I
Right.
think that's a pretty good toss up, but Alex just can't top roll him, you know? Jerry's proven that doesn't work.
Right. And so I was talking to a lot of guys though that say that Jerry is just not in his top form right now and Alex is gonna take it. And I feel like the ladies have more confidence in Jerry than some of the guys I've been talking to. So good luck, Jerry. If you end up winning, make sure you give us a shout out because we believed in you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some overall stats. So there were 4 matches where all of us agreed on one person. 4 matches where 3 matches where one person was the oddball out, and then 5 agreed on one person. 7 matches where it was 2 for one person and 4 for one, and then 3 matches where we were literally split like 3-3. So
Oh, wow.
and
Hey,
then
I think it should be a great card.
yeah. And then the overall card has 12 right hand men's matches, 3 left hand men's matches. So we got both. Boost those numbers up, people. Show love to the left. But September's all about the left hands. September and October, because we got 3 amazing left hand matches between Sarah Bachman and I believe her name is Ashley, and then Petra and Angie Rose, and then Danielle and Yukon? Yukon? I think I don't remember her name, but
I don't
Danielle.
know how you pronounce it.
Yeah. No, Danielle's a right hand match. Just kidding. It was Ursula. Ursula has the other left hand match on Knuckles.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That should be a good one, I feel.
Yes. Oh, 100% definitely. And then one women's right hand match. So one of those 12 men's rights could have 100% been a women's left hand match, Ingen. Just saying, just throwing it out there. You had a bunch of women qualify for East versus West. You got qualifiers every other weekend. But just kidding, I love you, Ingen. Don't cancel me. Don't. Not yet, at least. Not yet.
Right. You got to make it there first, and then
Right, right. And then you can cancel me. Let me get a little more popular, and then I can get canceled. How's it going, Stephanie?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Repping the grinder gym. You've been posting some major muscle reels. Just the strength, intimidation has been unreal here recently. I'm excited.
I got a new strongman coach, and I swear, I really felt like the wax on, wax off, because all these other things I've been doing, then finally I got to do the medley, and it really felt just like the Karate Kid. Like, this is what it all came down to, and it was so fun. It was probably my fun lift so far this session.
I love it. I'm here for it, girl. Slay queen. Where is this one? Oh, perfect. All right, so I finally got my stuff. So I've been totally stalling because, like I said, this was like the struggle bus getting this all set up. So now I'm ready to play host, make this all about Jesse now. But I had to stall, which I shouldn't be giving away my behind the scenes. But I wasn't ready, so now we're ready. So, Jesse, thank you so much for coming on the show. Welcome. How you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, I thank you so much for having me. I was like, oh my gosh, they want me, they want me on after they just had like Fia and Nadia. Like, all right, sure.
Now we have Jesse. You're right. And I mean, and I know it sounds cheesy, but when it comes to female arm wrestling, that's what we are about, and you have more than proven yourself as a top contender and a top competitor. And even if you're just starting out, if you're willing to get on that table, you have proven something to all of us that you deserve to be here. And so that's what we're about. And so it's not about, only having certain ladies on. It's not saying like, oh, you have to reach this level before you get on. And I think there was actually a comment that said it best. It's like, not a lot of people know who you are, and they should. So they should know who you are. And so I think that this is going to be a great opportunity to really for you to just share what you want to share and brag about what you want to brag about, because I've been a fan since the Invitational, and that's one of those things. I didn't know who you were until we got to the Invitational, and then I looked you up. I watched some videos, even though we weren't in the same weight class, which I was actually kind of low key happy about. I'm like, yes, I don't have to go against
her. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you've had a really cool journey, and I'm excited for you to get to share about it today.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate being on. It's an honor. I'm totally happy anytime I get a chance to talk arm wrestling. So
right. Awesome. So let's just start at the gate. What got you into this sport?
So actually two people. I started when I was a real little kid. My dad is a multiple worlds and national champion, so he's been arm wrestling since like the dinosaur age. But so he would put on tournaments in the area that we lived in at like state fairs or sports festivals and stuff. So I actually started out like 4 years old, and then probably stopped around like 12, 13, got into more like conventional school sports. So then towards the end of high school, I was actually working at a job at an amusement park, and one of the guys was arm wrestling everyone else. And I was like, that's not right. You're not setting up right. You're setting up like with an advantage. And he was like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, my dad, is a world champion. I've arm wrestled before. I know what I'm talking about. And so
Nice.
that guy's now my husband. So
I love that. Yeah.
What a cool
we actually
story.
started a team. Yeah. We actually started a team then.
Is that how you win all your arguments now? It's just like me, you don't know how to arm wrestle. I had to teach you.
Yeah. People do ask him, like, oh, because they assume he got me into arm wrestling, but we were kind of both interested in it initially, and then, started more practicing and putting in work. So probably around 2016, 2017 is when I started picking it back up, and pulling again, and more in the like pro class. At that time, it wasn't called pro class for women's, it was just open. So it was just one weight class, everyone there all together. So, and now we've got at least two at most every tournament. So it's come a
Right.
long way.
Yeah. For real, for real. And we'll dive into that a little bit later. We'll get a little spicy with that conversation or that topic. So, how is it like training though with like your spouse and going to tournaments and stuff? Are there ever times where you like purposely do things separately, or are you one of those like? I mean, there's no wrong answer. I'm not judging.
Yeah. So like, we'll practice and. Oh, sorry. What?
No, I just finished out saying like, or do you do like most of the stuff you purposely do together?
So we go to practices together, but we're usually separate. We're just getting on the table with everyone and anyone. We'll pull together, but we'll usually like train and pull at home. So we have that we do, but usually when we're out and about, like at a practice or at a tournament, we're pretty much like doing our own things, but then we're like, hey, it's time to go get food. Let's like, let's go. He's got to like pull me off the table.
That's awesome. Very cool. What is your favorite thing so far about the sport?
Definitely like just the community, just meeting people who are interested in like the same stuff I am, and like strength training, working out in general, just physical activity. I feel like that's probably been the best. I was a tomboy like all of my life, and then I never, like no one else I knew was a girl but into like a physical sport. So finding a community of women who are like, no, let's beat each other's arms up, like that has been the best, I think, experience for me.
That's awesome. I love that.
And
When
everyone's
you,
just so nice. Any arm wrestler, like you're focused and fierce on the table, but off the table, it's like a totally different story.
yeah, and it's funny because we talked about that. I think it was either with, I think it was Bia's episode where we really talked about like being able to, walk up to the table with like confidence and like not like see a competitor, see the
Yeah.
competition. But then like once the match is over, like getting advice and like, hey, this is how you could beat me next time.
Yeah.
Let's exchange numbers, let's exchange Facebooks, and so it's just it's not something I've ever like seen in any, because I didn't grow up in sports at all. I was a band kid, so like band competitions were as competitive as I got.
Band is intense, especially in competitions, because you're like, you got to be precise with what you're doing and multiple things. Like, I don't know if you were in marching band, but like get the
I was in
movement.
marching band and drumline, and man, could we just ruin some people's lives.
No, that's awesome.
But yeah, but this is so different because it's literally just you. Like you can't blame the tenor section for losing a competition. It's just like, nope, that was all me. I did that all by myself. So it's definitely but then people are willing to help you through that too. So I think,
Yeah, definitely.
and if you're willing to accept it and like be open-minded about it, I feel like it's way less like you don't beat yourself up so much about it because then you're like, man, this is what I need to work on for the next time.
Yeah, there's a lot of especially with like newer male arm wrestlers, but sometimes arm wrestlers in general, there's this big like ego thing that happens because you're like, oh, I'm strong, but then you're like pulling a female and you're like, oh shit, maybe I'm not strong.
Right. All right, my bad. All right, so I gotta do this really quickly because, yeah. Hello to our chat. Again, I was on the struggle bus for like the last 20 minutes. So, welcome in, Tall Paul. Hi, Michael Nance. Thank you for doing all your great. Troy, welcome in, James. Katie, hi. I think that probably can go away, guys, in the chat for my mods. And then Stephanie, yes, Stephanie's channel. Make sure you guys go and subscribe. Thank you, Drew, for sharing that. All right. Cool.
I was just thinking about what you were talking about earlier about how when you get up with the guys and they have their ego, what do you do when you beat them and they act like it wasn't a pin? Like, I swear I had that at practice the other day. This guy was completely on the pin pad and he kept trying and he was all the way down until someone finally said, okay. And then we got up and he went a few more times, which made it more fun. Do you get some guys like that sometimes? I thought and then
I do, yeah.
Because they're so much smaller. Like for me, I'm a little bit bigger than some of the guys, so that it's not the same. But if you're small and you pin them, they're like, it makes it even worse.
Yeah, if anyone is ever like ego pulling, as it's called, especially with me, I just and I have pinned them. I just kind of like walk away because I'm like, all right, like you can take from it what you want, but everyone in the room just saw what happened. So like I try not to then match their ego and like demean
like
it. Like
matching
it's
energy without matching energy.
And
yeah, it's kind of just
I'm
like
the ego puller, so like I feel like I'm guilty of that. Like I'm gonna go be the ego puller to pull the guys, and then when they beat me, I'm like, man, well at least it was a guy.
yeah. Yeah, but you just got sometimes you just got to walk away because in my opinion, it's better to let your arm wrestling do the talking than get injured or potentially have them get injured.
For sure.
So let the chalk dust settle, you know.
That's a good. I'm gonna steal that too. There are several things that I'm stealing from Jessie. I'm gonna give her credit later on, but I'm stealing that too.
It's all good.
So when you are not training, what are you up to? What are you guys up to? What's your life look like outside of arm wrestling?
So, I mean, aside from working, I work in a school. So thankfully I've had the last like 3 months off. So but aside from working, so usually I'll be working and then going to tournaments on the weekends and stuff, like August through May. But for the summer, we love to like go hiking, just being outdoors. We actually just went to Zion like last weekend. And then went to a Vegas arm wrestling practice. So that was pretty cool. So anytime I get an opportunity to practice or do something outdoors, biking, all that stuff, that's what I'm doing. Or hanging out. We're usually sometimes hanging out at home just with our cat.
What's your cat's name?
Antonio.
That's a great name.
Yeah, he's right next to me. Hold on, I got. He's a bit of a fat ass, but you know.
Cares. Big cats are
yeah.
Great. Big cat.
Yeah. Yeah, he's more like a dog in like the activity sense and like friendliness sense. Like he doesn't get too skittish with like new people, so he's pretty good. I lucked out.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have 4 dogs and 3 cats now.
Oh,
So
nice.
That's a lot.
full house over here.
That's awesome. Animals are great. They keep you grounded.
Oh, for sure. For sure, for sure. Yeah, they're I need a I keep telling people that I need a walking dog though, like a dog that'll go hiking with me because my dogs
Oh,
are very
yeah.
cat-like in the sense that we get about a quarter mile like on the path and they lay down. And they're like, I want
Oh,
it. I'm not gonna do anymore. And I'm just like, you guys are useless. I love you though.
you got to get one of those strollers that has the like a bubble or whatever, or I guess maybe even just a stroller.
Yeah, just a little bassinet to carry
Yeah,
everybody.
up a mountain, you know.
Yeah, totally. I can hike up sharp tooth with that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here for it. Um, so you guys go to practice, and then what does your gym time look like as far as like outside of training at practice?
So I'm normally in the gym 3, 4 days out of the week. And then we have a table and a cable system set up with a whole bunch of different attachments. So I'll do 2 days of that and then like 3 or 4 days in the gym. And then the 3 or 4 days depends on if there's practice because we're about an hour and a half from the practice we go to. So
Gotcha.
it's pretty big drive. So we'll only go every other week and also with like work schedules and stuff. So when on the weeks we're not going to practice, I'll only be in the gym like 3 days, but we're still doing 2 arm wrestling specific days, like on the table, going over technique, doing like arm wrestling attachment pulls, workouts.
Also,
So
Stephanie, how many days do you go to the gym? 7?
Well, yes, in between my lifts, I have to do like some sort of cardio or movement. So I usually do the pool, which this summer has been great because the pool is right up the street from the house. The kids have a membership there and it's an outdoor pool. So it feels great to get in the water, do laps.
that's awesome.
Why
I
we
love
can't
the
be
pool
friends.
too.
Because you live in California, you got a pool, you got a new strength coach, man.
But it's a lot of work to
Over there
live
just
here.
living the dream.
No,
The
rent is so
California dream
expensive.
life.
Everything's so expensive. Oh my God. It's like we can only afford to do that. Like the fun things, that's what we can afford to do. Like if other, you know what I mean?
That's
But
fair.
I don't, there's not anything else I want to do. I guess
That's
Disneyland is.
kind of how I say about my Planet Fitness membership is like, I can't afford to go anywhere else. So I might as well go spend
Oh my God.
there.
I would get kicked out of Planet Fitness. They wouldn't let me in there.
I don't know. Mine's kind of ghetto. No, I was so sad. Mike and I went to one in Alabama, and they had literally never enforced the rule before that guests weren't allowed to use the hydro bed until like some uppity assistant manager. I'm not even going to tell you it was a manager. I think it was the assistant manager. He was like, "You can't use it because he's a guest. Guests are not allowed to use it." And I was like, we have been to Planet Fitnesses all over the nation, and literally nobody enforces that rule.
That's because they're using it on their off time and they don't want anyone to find out.
What is the hydro bed? Is that like a massage?
Yeah, it's the water massage, and so
I
it goes
don't
up
try
and
it.
down. They have a chair and a bed, and so the one that I have here in Virginia just has the chair, but the two down in Alabama have the bed. And you can like lay flat in the water, and then you can adjust the pressure and everything. Oh, it'd be making you like question your life choices. It's just like if you don't believe in a higher being, you will see one on that bed. I promise you. Welcome in, Captain Obvious. How's it going? He said, "What's up, Lucky Super Steph, Jesse, chat."
Shout out.
Right? And then that guy never used anything inside that gym. You're not body shaming him, okay? Jeez. All right. That was in the chat, by the way. Lucky didn't say it. Mike did.
Who got body shamed?
Oh no, the dude was just he was very much a Planet Fitness influence.
Oh, got it. Yeah. I get it.
So we are all about body positivity. Me personally, I prefer body accountability. That's just my opinion. Doesn't matter what size you are, just as long as you are accountable to your body. All right, so what has been, you've been obviously competing now for quite a few, I wouldn't say quite a few because I'm not trying to age you or anything like that. Obviously, way more years than me, but not as many as, like, you know, some of the OGs like Casto's been in it since like the Dark Ages, where, you know, when they did all that stuff, they had to ring the bell with like a dinosaur bone against against a rock.
Where is Christina? Why is she up?
I mean, honestly, she's probably in a storm right now because Ohio was getting hit with stuff. I was talking to my mom. She said she was getting hit with stuff. And I was like, well, and it was funny because in the back of my mind, I thought, darn it, that means Casto's not going to be on tonight.
I thought she was out of West Virginia. Christina. I mean, I only met her one time.
No, yeah. So yes and no. She's kind of like both locations in a sense.
Oh, okay.
I think she's like on like the line. I don't know what her Addy is. I should be like, girl, what's your address?
Show up to her house.
But I know, right? I think she works in one state and lives in another. I think that's how.
Oh, okay.
She's like literally like right.
But doesn't she practice with Toddzilla?
Yeah, so she like goes over into Ohio for like a bunch of stuff, but I think her like physical address might be West Virginia, which I said West Virginia. I did not call it West Virginia. So I want to get props for that, Danny Adkins. So speaking of West Virginia, where's your favorite place to compete at?
So this was a hard one to answer because I've pulled pretty much all up and down the East Coast, and a little bit out in the Southwest. But I gotta say, so far Utah has been the pretty much top level and consistent level of female pulling. I think for men, it would probably be like the Southeast, like that Carolina Chaos and South Carolina. They're beasts. So for men, I would say the Southeast is probably one of the best areas to pull in. Yeah, but for women, it would be, for me, Utah, or I don't know, whatever you would call like Idaho, Utah, Colorado.
The mountain ranges over there.
Yes.
That mountain.
Yeah.
I still have to go there. I haven't gone there yet.
We
come to the John Brzenk Cup in November. It's awesome.
But isn't that the same weekend as the finals for the WSA? Like,
it's a weekend before or after. So I also might, depending on, you know, how the qualifier goes, I might be going to WSA finals or the John Brzenk Cup. It just depends.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, yeah. Did you? But I think that anybody who goes to the World Series arm wrestling, then you are qualified.
It's not like top 3 or top 2 or anything.
As long as you pull in the tournament, you get to go.
Oh, yeah. As long as you sign up. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a top 1 or 2 person type deal, but no, that's cool.
The thing that he's doing, which is awesome, which he'll be on the show again on August 24th. So I won't steal a whole lot of his thunder. But like the pro man, the overall pro man, because they do overall, so all the first place winners in each class pool in a super match style final, they get 2 nights in a hotel plus a cash prize.
Okay, yeah, that's what I saw.
So that's the only thing that is like when it boils down to what place you get. But as far as, and then women, have the opportunity. Men have the opportunity to win money up to 8th place. Women have the opportunity to win money up to 3rd place, plus get a watch. So I think
Okay.
first place gets
Are you coming, Lucky? Are you coming to San Diego? Okay. Okay.
I think I'm pretty sure that's the plan as of right now, and I'm excited. So I've been monitoring air flights and all that stuff, and I have a new job right now, so I'm kind of feeling the boss situation to know about when to approach about time off, because technically it falls on the weekend of the election, which we already have a day off, and I'm in the school system too, so you know how that goes. Jesse.
Yeah, I do.
Trying to ask for time off in addition to a time when you already have time off, sometimes that is highly frowned upon. But I'm gonna be like, listen, it's the finals. Or
Show
I'll
them
just,
some of your
I'll,
videos and say, I'll arm wrestle
call
you in
Greg
order to
and
get
be like,
leave.
hey, Greg Bestie, can you just change the date for me so it's over Thanksgiving break so I don't have to request time off? Buddy, it can't be that much more money to switch it.
Right. I mean, only a few $1,000.
Right. I mean, I'm sure he has that in his back pocket. Everybody just has that lying around.
Right.
Or he could just do like a finals just for me. Like I just show up and I'll pick like one person to pull, and then we can just throw that into the TV series.
Right.
I don't even
Just
care about being on TV. I went to the weigh-ins in my pajamas with no bra and the ugliest pants I have on in the world and chipped nail polish. I brought my nail polish, all my stuff to get. I did my makeup once a year for that. And they filmed me in my pajamas. It was awful. They filmed me and I was walking outside. They were filming me sign up with this bag. It's ghetto. Like
Now this is a plug where you say, now go watch season 3.
Right, go on season 3, see Stephanie.
Meet the spot where I was on
Episode 5 and 6. That's what so are you doing the Utah qualifier then, babe?
I will, yeah. So in 2 weeks, I believe, the 17th, it'll be in Ogden, which is about like a 2-hour drive from me. So
do you get to practice with like Megan Blake and all them, or are they a different team?
So she is up in Logan, which is closer to the Idaho border, with Team Spur. So they're probably like a 3-hour.
Well, Camille is there too.
Yes, Camille is there too. I'm more closer to like Jolene Anderson and Sarah LaFond. Those are the normal people.
How lucky are you? What?
Yeah.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Utah's got one of the best female arm wrestling scenes in the country. It's awesome.
I feel like Utah is what we envision like Sweden being. Like you guys have fun. You guys,
no,
but I'm serious. Like we talk about a lot on the show how like we would love to have a place in America that mimicked Team Sweden, and now I really feel like thinking back to like when I had Megan on the show or whatever, or just even talking to Camille and Jolene in the past of like how you guys are out there, and Megan talking about how like you guys are always floating, competing for that first place and doing the super matches and pushing each other. Like I think you guys are on the right track for what we envision when we think Team Sweden and what we hope for women's arm wrestling to really look like. And you guys are really starting to breed that in your area, and that's but also
you just got to get more women into the sport, and then every state will be like that. Every state will have their own little like group.
For sure.
I wish there was more ladies in California. Doesn't it seem like this would be a place where a lot more ladies would like to be pulling?
Yes.
It's like one of
It
the
doesn't
most
feel like
populated states. So
Right. I'm just like, and you guys are crazy over there. Like, I don't understand why there's not more people that are willing to do it in California. That's crazy to me.
we're all too busy
I'm
going to
sorry,
the
girl.
pool.
Stop scaring them away, Stephanie.
what?
Stop scaring them away. I believe in you. You could do this. You could be the leader of the California chicks.
I couldn't imagine not living in California. That's a crazy thing. Like,
I'm not telling you to move.
okay, good.
I'm telling you.
I'm thinking like moving to Utah. What?
Oh, you know what you can do is, oh, this would be really fun. Is you all have all those like parades and protests and stuff. Get like an open bedded truck and like put an arm wrestling table in it. And then anytime there's like a parade or a protest, you can just drive that around or have one of your kids drive it around and bring women up to arm wrestle you. And then build awareness that way. That's like that's like a California how to match the energy way to get women into arm wrestling. I love this idea.
Well, you saw some of those videos that Greg did when he was arm wrestling people on the beach.
Oh, true. True. All right. Let's see. I'm so sorry, guys. My phone clicked off and I forgot to keep reading the comments. So, and I always get in trouble because I always forget to read the comments. Is there anything?
Tell them when can they need to super chat us.
We can get super chats in 260 people.
More? We need 260 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in line for free school supplies today and I got another subscriber. So it went from 239 to 240. I was like, hey, subscribe to my podcast. So, and shout out to Casey and Beth Dukes for shouting out the podcast and putting it in their statuses yesterday and today so people would follow us. Nobody did, but I appreciate the effort of doing that. So, World Series of Arm Wrestling, obviously super excited about that. What do you think? Are you like biggest competition? Are you ready to walk away with the 154 win? What's the plan for the WSA for you? So people will be more interested in seeing what the results are here next year.
I mean, I'm hoping to walk away with the win, but it is pretty tight competition. Sarah LaFond hasn't been competing too much in recent months, but I know she just moved and a whole bunch of other crazy life stuff. So I'm hoping there's a decent turnout, and I'm hoping to kind of give some people some good competition and hopefully do what I can just to hopefully get that first place,
Of course. Get that gold, homie.
trying.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, so I will say the production level of the WSA is just amazing. Have you been to one of his before, like last year or the year before?
No, never. This is the first time I've seen it, but so that is what has made me the most interested, and then just secondary being a arm wrestling tournament that's close by. I'm always willing to like, hey, let's go to this one. And it falls just in the perfect timeline of like training, not close to too many other tournaments. So gotta go.
How many weeks do you have to train right now? How many weeks away is it?
So I just pulled at a tournament on July 13th. So it's been like 2 weeks since then, and then it'll be another 2 weeks. So four-ish around there, which I always try to take at least that amount of time off between tournaments, because I just feel like when it's too close together, like a week or two after, I just feel like your tendons aren't as like healed up as they should be going into a tournament, especially with like the tight level of competition out here. So
Right.
I always try to give it some time.
Sure. What's your recovery look like then for those 4 weeks?
So I'll normally like the week after tournament, just do blood flow, sort of more like maintenance-ish level lifts, just keeping it more high volume. And then the second week, building up a bit more, doing like 4 or 5 or yeah, 4 or 5 sets of like, 12, 15 reps. And then do at least one heavy week and then kind of decrease and go back down. And then the week before another tournament, kind of just blood flow mainly. It's very hard. I always tell myself, like, you can't just go do volume right before a tournament. So it's very much just like cardio, rice bucket, practicing hits, form.
Very cool. Oh, that's smart. I like that.
Yeah, it's like a going up and then decreasing.
Right. Yeah, I've been kind of tournament trigger happy. So, because there's so many in my area, and then if they're not in my area, they're down in Mike's area, and then if they're not in Mike's area, somewhere in the middle where we can meet. So
Yeah,
I need
it,
to,
it is a lot.
yeah, I need to get better about that, but so I can have that recovery time. But nobody quote me on that because you're gonna see me at back-to-back tournaments, and then you're gonna be like, "Lucky, I thought." Shh, don't point that out.
But you just want to be around that energy and those people and just having fun. And you can't just go to a tournament and not pull. Like, I've heard people say that, and I'm like, you're a liar.
The only person that I've really ever seen do that, and I've seen her do it twice now, was Angie Rose. She went to 2 tournaments where she didn't pull, but I mean, I feel like at this point, like we all know if you had pulled, we know the outcome, babes. So just
Right.
like, and you've been in it long enough that you know you deserve it. You deserve it. You can show up and not pull. It's okay.
She's just there for the photo ops.
For real. Uh, yes, so she can out angle all of us. I purposely looked for the photo that we were all kind of evenly matched to do my cover photo for the WSA shot of the 4 of us ladies. And I was like, dang it, Angie! Like the other 3 that Ron took of her, she's like 8 times our bicep size and just like this over. I was like, fortunately, the last one was like what we did, and she's still like 4 times, like just the bicep, the arm. And we're like, yeah, okay, Angie, we get it.
Hey, but when you get that far, you probably
Right,
should.
you deserve. You are royalty. You are a legend, and we. Yeah, I call her the legendist because Ron is the legend, so she's the legendist.
That's a good one. I like that.
So, but she'll always be Queen Angie Rose to me for sure, for sure. Um, but yeah. So what has speaking of my legend that I look up to and that I think is a queen, who are you looking up to in the sport? Who are you watching right now? Who should we be watching right now? Male, female, coach, promoter, whoever.
Well, I do have to shout out my spouse, Julian Smith. He's probably like, for motivation for me, probably the one person that I'm always like, man, like, he's just to me super strong, and I'm totally biased, but he just beat Jordan Sill, left-handed, and got onto the In the Hook rankings at number 9 for left-handed under, I think it's 230. So
Let's
he's
go.
yeah, he's always like pushing me to do better and just get better. So I definitely have to mention him. Um, but I do, and all the women. Oh my gosh, every woman in arm wrestling should be proud of themselves and just be able to recognize that like they're a part of this larger thing about making female arm wrestling grow. So like Thea, Gabby, Barbara, Sarah, Marlene, Danielle, Elizabeth, Alexandra, like there's too many to name. But all of them, all the women that are doing their thing, like helping the sport grow. And last but not least, my favorite arm wrestler has to be Devin Larratt. I think he's awesome. I love his charisma, I'll call it that. But he's just a total beast, I think, in multiple weight classes over multiple years. So he's got to be, and one of the nicest guys too. He's like super sweet, super humble, just a total sweetheart person. So those are all of the people I consider my favorites.
That's awesome. Speaking of Canada, we got Miss Jocelyn Brisson in the chat. Says, "Hey, you
Hey,
rock, girl." So,
hey, you do
thank you
too.
for tuning in, Joss. Check out her episode earlier on this season. She was on not too long ago. Just an amazing puller. Um, Justin and I got a front row seat at the Invitational back in May to the absolute powerhouse.
Watching her kick some ass.
100%. What she said. 100%. Taking that North American #1 spot. So, and Ryan. Hey, Ryan, we shouted you out earlier for East versus West. Good luck next week, my friend. I got to meet him in person for the first time on at the WSA 2 Saturdays ago. Last Saturday.
Is that Ryan Bellinger?
Calendar, yeah.
Oh, what's up,
Or
Ryan?
if you're Don Hollywood or Don Hollywood, you call him Ballyjern
Oh, okay.
or Bellyjern. That was my personal favorite when they announced his name at the
That's
WS.
funny.
Let's see. Love Jesse and Julian. I miss training with you all, but he misspelled training, and so it's a different word that I can't say on YouTube because it will get me banned, and that is absolutely hilarious. So good job, Ryan. Thank you for that. All right. So, what is the best promotion that you've been able to be a part of so far? As far as like a promoter you really enjoyed, an a tournament you really enjoyed, something that you are like, I'm doing this every year that I'm invited. Or what one do you want to be a part of? We can start plugging that for you.
Okay. Well, so I mean, I haven't been a part of it, but East versus West, I think, is the top, hands down top promotion so far in arm wrestling. Or now, maybe not like back when they were doing like Vendetta or WAL or all that stuff. But currently, I think East versus West is pretty much top tier. But as far as like more normal promotions, not the elite, level in the world, I would have to say anything that Sean Hancock is involved with, Corey Miller, both of them run amazing tournaments. Bob Brown Arm Wrestling, who puts on the John Brzenk Cup. I have never seen a tournament run faster than the John Brzenk Cup. And for such a like pristine type tournament where there's people coming from all over the place, like it runs so smoothly. And I've been at tournaments where it starts at noon and 9 p.m. hits and it's still going and they haven't even gotten to some classes yet. So I'm thoroughly impressed with Bob Brown and Corey Miller running brackets. And yeah, I would have to say also when Adam Wierzinski puts on tournaments as well, he runs a pretty good tournament and it's always just very lively and fun and just keeps going no matter how many people there are. So those have been, I think, the top kind of promotions that I've gone to.
Very cool.
Oh, and shout out 98% for putting on Winter Blast. That is like amazing. I went this past year and it was the largest tournament ever.
Yeah, we watched.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know why. I feel like I did see you there. I watched the whole thing because I was angrily sitting house sitting at somebody's house because I was like really upset because staffing hour was supposed to go, but then they didn't pay for us to go.
Yeah.
And you know what I think? I think they should do ladies first. I feel like the next one, we should ask Ryan, can you do ladies first? What if they let all the ladies pull first and we didn't have to wait all day? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, I don't know how they picked the order.
Make us feel
Well, and
special.
like that needs to be one of the questions that I start asking, aside from the Jesse. And that's why I named that question, by the way. That way you always get credit for it. Is when do you want women to pull? Because for me, and like people looked at me like I was psycho, is I love it when the pro men go first. Like I know it's long and I know all that, but I get more like into it when I watch the pro men go because I'm like, yes, okay, I'm ready, and I'm chomping at the bit. And then it just gives me like this energy to be able to, and no offense to amateurs or masters or novice or kids or anything like that, but when the pro men are first and then the women can go right after them, for me personally, that's when I've had the most success of being able to be like, headspace is good, energy is good, I'm ready to rock and roll.
What about just the super matches and then the ladies?
I hate watching super matches so much. That because I'm so excited for the women's super match event that we're doing. I'm so ready for that event.
Jesse, are you going to pull in the super match event?
She needs to.
I don't know. I don't think so. So far, with how it falls, I don't know if it's smart to. So that's my whole. Not that I don't want to participate in it.
Well, you could come to San Diego and pull my son's girlfriend because she's got a right-handed match with Malia and she could save her left for you.
Okay. If you fly me out to San Diego, I'll come.
I know who
That's a far drive. Quick flight, but expensive.
Are they? Are they really? Are you sure?
The flights? I'm sure it's expensive. I mean, we can check.
It's an Arnold qualifier.
Pricey for me flying from DC to San Diego. Like I was like, dang, it's that cheap? Okay, cool.
You got to check the prices. Like you have to go on to the Google search and then you type in explore and then you don't put in the city and it'll give you a whole bunch of really cheap ones.
Oh, okay. Because I flew from Salt Lake City to Denver and that's like a 30-minute flight, but it was like
are you from
$1,000?
Okay, you got to talk to Camille. She always finds a cheap flight out here. She came up here on Spirit for like $70. And then I picked her up at the airport and then she stayed with me. And then it was a really, she could spend her money on groceries and we could eat at home. And like you could really come out very cheap.
Okay.
So if you want to. If you
that definitely makes it more
Arnold,
doable. I didn't know there was another qualifier.
Well, just keep us in the loop too, because the Lucky Ones podcast has been known to drop some sponsorship here and there when we do certain things. So we haven't really broadcasted it a whole lot. So, but now that we're kind of growing and getting some fun things that we want to be able to support women in,
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, that could be something that could be fun. Getting
very fun. Yeah.
on our roster. Would be awesome. All right, speaking of V Jesse is now a question that we're gonna add to our list of questions. Because she was like, oh, I really like this question, and I really like this question too. And sometimes we end up like organically talking about it, but like I've not really thought about adding it to the list. So it's added to the list now of where do you see arm wrestling going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I thought that was a good one. So I do think it's just going to continue to grow and continue just to become more of an elite sport that gets recognized more, maybe not officially in the Olympics. But I definitely think, yeah, I definitely think, especially with East versus West going on, I think it's just going to become even more interconnected. I think traveling internationally is going to be more of a popular thing. Hopefully, we can have some worlds back in the States. So it might be a bit more feasible to go. But I think it's just going to explode totally upwards. And I think hopefully, especially more women are going to get into it and stick with it and kind of help that side of arm wrestling just progress and get better.
What was something you like to see as far as, I mean, obviously all of us want more women in it. But what would you like to see happen in order to make that growth happen? This is where
I think so,
no pressure.
yeah, I do think there has to be more travel involved. I think right now, with the amount of women that are in it, I think we're also spread out. So I definitely think getting together, traveling, meeting each other, and then staying connected, it would totally help with growing female arm wrestling. And I think just like, I know a lot of people talk about like incentivizing women to pull, and I have a bit of a different view because I understand from a promoter standpoint, like you're not going to put up money, cash prize for two women to show up to a tournament. So I don't think it needs to technically be incentivized. I think women need to get into the sport, stay consistent with it, kind of fall in love with it, and then the incentive of being there, staying, becoming elite, and top level will happen because women have matches at East versus West. Like women have titles at East versus West. So I think it's definitely there. I think there's the willingness to match the men's and the women's at rewards, awards kind of thing. But I don't think there's enough to kind of put into it right now. I think that has to happen first and then everything can happen after.
I would 100% agree with that. Yeah. And I think, we talk about like, free entry versus paid entry. If women are paying, should their cash, match what they're paying out to men? And, for me, like July was I paid for both arms at two very pricey places, and I feel good about, both events. I couldn't say a bad thing about either event. One was both actually had Sean Hancock's name attached to it. But one was at the regionals, and then another regionals with the WSA. And I invested a lot into that. And so to be able to have August and have a couple of local options that allow me to pull for free and get that practice in, and maybe not get the amount of women that I had at the other two locations, but still be able to get on the table while not hitting my pocket as hard, is kind of nice. So for me,
yeah.
I'm not like all for like all tournaments need to be free for women, because you're not going to get quality that way. Like I'm willing to invest in quality, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I like when you guys recognize, when some men recognize and some promoters recognize there's going to be three women here. Do you really need to charge them $50 an arm? So
Yeah, 50 is a bit much. I
yeah.
think even just for men too, that's a big entry price. But I get it. I get it. It's not an easy sport to promote, put on, and have
Well, we
people
really
tell
can't
you it
complain
sucked
about 50
anyway.
when certain people in December are charging us $100 per arm.
Oh, call them out. Call them out.
Who is that? Who's charging?
Oh, from the invitational or for the
For the Great American
tournament?
Bash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's been the
Jeez.
biggest kickback, that, and I feel bad because like I get it, ladies, but at the same time, like, y'all put $15 in a purse that you have in the back of your closet for the next 5 months, and it will pay for it. Please.
Right. Yeah.
Lunch money.
Right. I'm not Dave Ramseying you. I'm not telling you not to go buy Starbucks, okay? You can have the Starbucks. Like,
Maybe just the smaller size.
do the tall, not the venti. and then get yourselves to Tennessee so that Lucky has people to pull, because there's not a lot of people that have signed up. And I've been pushing
Yeah.
it.
Lorraine, honestly, for the women's
is the
invitational,
Tennessee
put on a
event?
great tournament.
December 7th, he's gonna have the women, and it's nice too because there's a left-hand option. So I'm signed up for women's left for that, and all the money that's going in is being put in a pot, and it's the top 4 places that are getting paid out, which is again better than some that only pay out either the top or the top 3. So it's worth it, ladies. It's worth it.
Yeah, and Lorraine puts on a good tournament. He
Gonna
ran
be
a good
easy
round robin.
for some of the ladies like it was back in May when Lucky was in it and she gave you all the paid spots before. Because I'm on the rampage and I'm on my redemption arc right now. So don't think you're gonna show up and blow through me. So yeah, so I agree with you. I would 100%. I think you're right on the money with that. I'm just like, when it comes to it, like, we need to be inviting people that we think wouldn't be interested. Like, invite them to a practice, because you never know who's gonna be like into it, who's gonna be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Like we said at the beginning, like, I was a band kid. Like, who would have thought that a band kid would be like, I'm gonna go join an arm wrestling team and travel all over the world and arm wrestle every chance I get.
Yeah.
So ladies, invite the people that you are just like, oh, she would never do. Because I mean, that's who we see at the tournament. Is you literally can look out in the audience and never know which lady is signed up until you get to the table with them. And sometimes it's sometimes it's the ladies in heels, sometimes it's the lady in the biker jacket. It does not discriminate. Ladies arm wrestling doesn't discriminate for who gets into it. So
yeah, very true.
So I think it's up to a lot of us to really invite the ladies in our area, and talk to ladies at the gym, and talk to ladies getting your nails done, talk to ladies getting your hair done, because I mean, we talk about random stuff all the time. We stand in line for a majority of our life, and we joke about certain things. Wear your arm wrestling shirts out and start conversations that way.
That happened to me. Some girl commented on my Grinder gym shirt. I invited her to the tournament in San Diego. She showed up right after I took left overall, and then I was about to go on the table and do right. And as soon as I pulled Camille, that's when my pec got strained. And the new girl who I just invited, that I met her while I was door dashing. She was in line picking up a DoorDash order too, and she drove me to the hospital. That's my story of the one, and she never came back. I feel bad. Like, she barely got there.
Bad. Just do it better next time.
Don't tell Camille to hit me with her power.
We'll blame Camille. That wasn't your fault. You don't need to feel bad.
Oh no, I'm not blaming anybody. I had a fun day, but that's the last time I got a new girl to come. But I did reach out to the new girls.
All about trial and error. Okay.
I know.
So that time didn't work. Try again.
I'm waiting for the time.
Try again.
I invited a guy that worked at the vitamin shop to practice the other day. A little skinny, like 150-pounder young guy who was talking about powerlifting, and the gym's right up the street. And I'm like, hey, there's practice. So I stopped back by to invite him again. But it's not a lady, but at least I was inviting somebody, like trying to get more people to come. And maybe he has a girlfriend.
I will give you a gold virtual star as your
I need that so bad. If my iPad doesn't die, if it dies, I didn't go away. I've been charging it, but it's at 7%.
Gotcha. No worries. We'll let you
Okay.
back in if you go away. So speaking of matches, what's been your favorite match, or who's like your favorite matchup when you get to a tournament? You're like, yes, she's here. I cannot wait.
Oh, I don't know if I have one specific person. I mean, I love any time I get to pull, I'm loving it. Um, I will say all the women who were at the round robin, that was awesome to pull every single one of them, because some I have pulled, some I haven't, or some I have met, some I haven't pulled. But so it was really cool to get all those women in one space and pull with them. So I would have to say all of them have been my favorite matches. And also it was just such a good feeling to be in the room with just all these women who arm wrestle and are, in this space because they're, this good. So that was totally awesome. That's been probably my favorite match, if I can call it just a match.
100%. Yeah. And remind everybody what you walked away with at the round robin.
I ended up taking 8th place right-handed.
Do that again. Do it again. Do it again.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that. I just put mine out of the frame, so it's not. Yeah. I'm not embarrassing myself. And
no, yeah, you were there too. So that makes us all on the same level.
No, it does not. No, it does not. I'll see that right now. No, it was a great event. No shade towards anybody. It was a wonderful event. I just personally did not do what I wanted to do in any way, shape, or form. And
yeah, I feel you.
It was a learning experience. I learned a lot, and it was a test that I'm hoping to retake in December and get a higher score on.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. So 8 is we're just segueing. I'm such a good host. We're just segueing right into all these different answers. So yeah, 8th at the round robin. Congratulations, that's amazing. Obviously we had 12 of the top women in 154s. Yeah, in the hook they racked up on the in the hooks ranking. So to be able to walk away with anything is just incredible, and I'm just like, yay, Queen Slay.
Yeah.
What's some other big things that you can brag about and that make us go like, yep, we know who Jessie is?
So I have taken first at the Pennsylvania states and North Carolina states a few years ago. I think that was left hand. I've never won both hands at the same tournament, but it's depended on which one. So that's been my biggest accolade, is that I've won state championships. So that's my claim to fame.
That's great.
Yeah.
I own that 100%. Walking with a state title is nice for sure. Anytime you can win any sort of title for first place, second place, third place, and you can walk away, and say yeah, I put everything on the line and it really, came to fruition. That's something to be proud of. That's something to brag about. Your picture had second place medal and then a huge ass wreath. And tell us about that. Tell us about that picture.
Yeah, so that was at the Mr. and Mrs. America tournament, run by James Reed and Michelle Dugan, and I guess Lethal Arms, all those people up there in the Great Northeast. So they put that on, I think, a year or two ago.
Okay.
So I won first place left-handed and second place right-handed to Michelle Dugan, you know.
Not in, yeah, yeah. I've taken second to Michelle. I get
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, so that was a pretty huge tournament. Yeah. But I'm coming for, I tell her that every time I see her. I'm like, I'm coming for you.
Good.
I don't know if it scares
Please
her or
get
does
her.
anything.
Please go ahead and get her because Lucky's not going to. So wait, I need to be at the tournament where it happens, so that when it does happen, I can be like, yeah, that's for me too.
Yeah. Just hop on, hop on.
Right, right. Cosign and Jesse's win. Or maybe we can just pull her together, like just go up together, and I'll
Two
just have my hand on the back of your hand.
That might work. I
Yeah,
think that one might work.
it'd probably make it happen a lot sooner if we did it that way.
I'll just wear like a big trench coat or something. We can like hide like how people stand on top of each other and they're all
Yeah,
like,
like the little rascals.
yeah.
But then we wouldn't be able to be in her weight class because they'd be like, "There's no way they're 154."
Yeah, she'll pull up. She'll pull up.
True, true. We'll be like, listen, we need you to pull in the heavier weight class for us.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Hopefully, she doesn't watch this episode, so doesn't know it's
No,
coming.
let her. Let her.
So East versus West is something that you are looking to hopefully do, which is awesome. John Brezine Cup, you have that coming up. Have you done that yet?
So I did. Right when I moved out to Utah, actually, it was like 2 weeks later, the John Brezine Cup was going on, and I was like, I don't even have my life unpacked, but I'm gonna go to the John Brezine Cup and pull. So it was awesome because I saw the year prior they had like 12 women come, so that I was like, oh, I definitely have to go. And then there was another like 12 women that came again, so I'm like, this is great. This is amazing.
What are his weight classes, or is he open?
They are, I believe, 154 and then 155 and up.
Okay.
At least I think that's what it was the past 2 years. I don't know if they're changing that. But I believe that's the weight classes they do.
Okay. What do you what does ideal weight classes look like for you? Like, what do you wish promoters would start like doing? Are you happy with 154 or
I think so. I mean, I usually sit around 145 to 150. So
okay?
154 to me is always really good. Sometimes there's some tournaments where it's a 145 class. That's easy for me to reach, so I don't mind those. But if there is a 145, I don't like when there's just a 145 and then 146 and up. I think they should break that up to like 170 or something, and
Right.
then or 165, whatever, and then go up from there. Because I feel like that's a big gap. You know, if someone's 150 to pull someone who's potentially 180, 200 pounds. So I think they should maybe break break it up in there. But I have cut down to like 135 for Winter Blast,
Okay.
which was terrible. I don't recommend it. That was the hardest weight cut I've had to do for a weight class. So
Right.
I don't recommend that. I mean, I get it if I think there should be a light weight. I think overall like 132, 133 to 154, 155 to like 170, 171 to 190. And then, like even another one you could put it in there, but I
Sure.
think that would be a staggered enough kind of
Right.
weight separation for everyone.
For sure. Well, I
How
just
many
think
girls came at 135? How many people were in that class?
3.
Oh, that's great. Sorry.
Yeah, it was and then a lot of people jumped up to the middleweight class because then there was God, Elizabeth, Sarah, Christy, Jesslyn, me. I think like 5 or 6. in the like 136 to 154 class. And then even people who were in that class even jumped up then one or two more classes, because Winter Blast had like 4 women's weight
Yep.
classes. So it was
They
awesome.
all paid out.
They did all pay out.
So that was pretty
Shout
lit.
out to Sue Fisher.
Right? I'm hoping to have her pop on here shortly.
Oh, she's awesome. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah. But no, I think and yes, so save the date, March 21st, March 22nd. It's gonna be at something casino.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
I literally remembered and then I forgot and now I feel bad. Let me see if I can find it. But anyway, we are hoping I'm hoping to be there. I want to win a dragon. So,
They are nice.
yeah. But isn't it just first place that gets a dragon?
It is first place that just gets a dragon.
Okay, well,
but you got 2 arms, so.
That's well true, I do. But I also can just steal one. I'm either gonna steal one or win one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm super excited. Nope, he didn't. He didn't tell me. Oh well. Anyway, it's gonna be at a casino. So I've never
Yeah, I know he put it up, but
been to a casino, so I'm kind of really excited for that aspect of it. So
they're overrated.
Probably just because, well, I think it's just because I've never been to one that I think it's gonna be cool. But then I'm gonna get there and be like, oh, I need to not hype it up because like Ocean's 11 is like my favorite movie ever. And I think I'm gonna like walk in and like see like Brad Pitt like hanging out or something.
I mean, they could be fun if you're lucky. So you might just hit it big.
I don't think. Well, see, that's the thing is I don't like gambling. I have I have like little poker thing on my and I hate like I always like fold because I don't want to lose any of my coins. And then it'll be like a hand that I totally would have won. I'm like, dang it, I should have played. And then the next round I overcompensate for the fact that I would have won the last round, and then I lose everything. So I'm like the world's worst. Like that's why I wasn't announcing my picks, and that's why I did it the way that I did it for East versus West, because if all my people lose, it's not going to be like, Lucky made them all lose. It's all her.
I don't think anyone would blame you.
You say that.
I mean, people on the internet are jerks, so they could, but
they could. I find that one. I have been lucky enough to find that one person that literally has invested their life into me, and I'm just like, there are more popular, famous, pretty people that you can go do all this stuff to. That would be a better use of your time. Like I just feel bad because I feel like he's wasting his time because I'm boring as anything. But it is.
He got heart. That's what matters.
Fair. I mean, you know, obviously there's something special about me.
Yeah.
I think it's
I agree.
Probably the dimples.
Yeah, definitely the dimples.
That's why I started this podcast, was to show that there are other female arm wrestlers that maybe then they'll attach themselves to those ladies and then leave me alone.
You never know.
You never know. All right, so is there anybody that you have now? So that we talked about the ladies at the invitational, that some of them you had met but hadn't gripped up with, had never gripped up with, hadn't met yet. Is there anybody on the list of Jesse that's just like, I cannot wait to pull them?
I don't really have a list. I just think anyone I haven't pulled yet, I'd love to pull them. Anyone I have pulled, I'd love to pull them again. I just always like seeing, like, after some growth, some time, come back to it. Where am I at? Or where are they at? So, and anyone who I haven't pulled yet, I'm like, come here, like, give me your arm. I want to feel you.
Right? No, I love that.
So anyone and everyone. This is
Anyone?
open call out right now.
Yeah, she's coming for everybody. 154s, look out.
Yeah, watch out.
Hey, we might have a new number one at the 154 right hand at the end of next week, or we might have the same one. So 154, Liz and Alex, whoever takes it, Jesse's up next. Claim
Yeah.
it.
I would totally feel like I had imposter syndrome if I was the next person to pull either of them, no matter what. I feel like there's a few people before me.
Fair, fair. All right, we'll
I'm at least
let
eighth in
Danielle
line,
pull
right?
them and like wear them out, and then you can do it after Danielle.
Danielle, Merlene, Scarlett, Bethany. Send them all, and then I'll come up and I'll be like, all right, now I'm ready.
Oh, I would love to see either one of those girls go against Bethany Ritchie. That would be awesome.
Out of Elizabeth and Alexandra?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no offense to any of the other ladies that we mentioned, but we've seen those matches before.
Yes.
But
No, Bethany's a like sleeper.
we haven't seen them recently either. And matches change and styles change. And as people train and as people get busy, lots can happen. You never know what happens on the table until, as Jesse would say, the chalk dust has settled.
Yeah. It definitely the day, the tournament, your personal life, all of that comes into play. So
100%. 100%. And I think that's the way it's like, and that's co-ed too, because I mean, it's funny because as much as they want to say, women are emotional, I'm sorry. Have you watched a man arm wrestle and lose before? Don't be saying women are emotional.
yeah, definitely.
Everybody is emotional. So I think it because we were talking about one of the matches where somebody had to bulk and somebody has to cut, and you just, I mean, that in itself right there, you could have a 100%. I guarantee you this person's gonna win. They've won every single time, and then the minute they have to cut 5 pounds, they're just a whole different polar.
Yeah, it definitely matters if you have to cut weight versus if you're sitting at that weight or even have to bulk up. It totally changes the game. Your whole like rhythm of your body feels like off.
Definitely. So, what would you say has been like a really good piece of advice that you would like to pass on to people who are looking to get into the sport? Or maybe some people like myself, like, I'm less than a year in the sport. My first tournament, well, actually, technically I'm over the year mark, but my first tournament was in November of last year, so I still count myself
Okay.
within a year because I'm counting it tournament to tournament, not table to table.
Right.
But so like myself, I'm still, fairly new into the sport and still have a lot to learn. And this has been my favorite segment of the show, honestly, of just being able to learn from people like you who's kind of not new to the sport at all, but at that pro level, but still kind of like has the remembers when their first tournament was, unlike Casto, who's like ancient and doesn't remember when her first tournament was. But yeah, so from you and your experience, what's been like some great advice for new pullers and what's some great advice for some pullers who are looking at getting into the sport?
Well, so for new pullers, I would say find a team that's close to you, and practice, and then find a team with elite people and practice with them. And you probably at least once a month, even if you have to drive 2-3 hours, it is worth it. And then still practice with your like local closer people. But once you start practicing with older pullers, people with more experience in the sport, your whole view changes. And then take what you learn from that elite practice and look up and do research on the even more elite people, like internationally and stuff, and see how they work out and how they pull, and then just apply that, because that's probably the best way to make progress in the sport, is to study it, make it a thing you're trying to get a degree in and make a living off of. And that might sound like a lot, but in time, it will show your effort in it. And I think for people who are like newer to the sport, under a few years, same thing. But I think just kind of recognize, like, going at your own pace. You might want to be here and you're here, but it's because you're not meeting the right requirements to make those jumps up to the next level. So really kind of just take everything that you can and kind of like appreciate, where you're at, where you started from, what more you want to achieve, but like in an actual, like, feasible, achievable way. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm gonna go to worlds and win first, and you're like 3 years into the sport.
Right.
So just kind of doing it at your own pace, and also just still kind of always an ever student of the game.
I love that. That's very good advice. And I mean, and it's one of those pieces of advice that you can apply to several different areas of your life when you're ever learning. So love it. Great job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I just, and like I said, that's like one of my favorite things, is just because sometimes it's like stuff that but you don't know. And just hearing it from someone else, or like a different perspective, or like being able to learn from somebody else's wins and losses can be more beneficial from to your own sometimes, because you actually see the whole picture or whatnot.
Yeah, it's great to get that, like, other perspective on something, and then even ask someone else then, like, hey, I got told this, let me try it, and then let me see what you think. I found that's like been the most helpful thing, because I felt like I was stuck doing like one thing and just not getting anywhere with it. And then I talked to a few different people, and they were like, oh, well, try this and then try this. And I was able to take that and kind of try it out, not all at once, like to mess myself up, but in a best training way. And then I found, like, oh, I feel like I'm an idiot because I've been doing this wrong the whole time, but I haven't. I was just pulling at the level that I thought I was plateaued at. But then it was like this just tiny little piece of info that I was like, oh, now I get it. I can think about it in this different way. And it totally helps change everything.
Nice. Now the Ogden, Utah WSA, that is August 17th, correct?
17th, yes.
And so that's where you and Julian are gonna pull the next
Yes.
big event that y'all have. Very
Yep. I'll be in the lightweight and he'll be in one or 209, I think it
cool.
is.
Yep.
210 or something close to that.
Well, and I had to laugh because Greg has 4 pro classes, which I think is great. So it's 170 0 to 176, 176 to 208, 209 to 239, and then 239 plus. And one of the things that the guys were complaining about were their weight classes at the WSA, and I was like, bro, that's literally 3 to 4 more than we ladies get. Like, I get that y'all are only used to pulling within 20 pounds of each other, but maybe this shows you some empathy and some realization that sometimes a woman has anywhere from 50 to 150 to 150 plus weight difference between who they're pulling. So I want to hear it.
Right. Yeah. Who's emotional now?
Exactly. Exactly. Buck up. Be a man. So again, that's just a point that I just would like to point out. But WSA again. Also, I'm not allowed to say any of the results because they're going to be unlocked and loaded. Tune into Locked and Loaded season 3 next year. Tubi, I have Twittered you 8 times now about putting season 2 on Tubi, and it needs to been happen at this point because season 1 was released in like June of last year, and I've watched it 12 times, and there's only so many times I can watch 5 episodes 12 times over and over and over again. So I need season 2. I want to see my friends. And then it doesn't bode well because now I feel like season 3 is not going to come out until like 2027. And I want to be able to watch, well, I don't really want to watch my episodes, but I want to watch the other episodes with everybody else. That's one thing I haven't been able to really do a whole lot is go back and watch these podcasts because your girl get on my nerves. Like, I'll be like, girl, why'd you say that?
It's always so uncomfortable to hear yourself on video and be like, oh my God, no, the cringe.
Yeah. Oh, I admit, and I tell my kids all the time, I own the cringe. Like, just like, Miss Wood, you're such a cringy teacher. Oh, I know, but you love me. The only way I know how to be, okay? I was raised this way. I was homeschooled. Literally was birthed in the cringe.
Not homeschooled.
Yup. So great. That's why, but you know, I could spell, read, and write, so you know.
There you go.
These public school education. Not my students. My students know how to do it.
Those other schools.
Those other schools. Those other students. What do you do in the school?
So I do group therapy for kids. So I'm in a high school, so
Right.
14 to like 18. I teach like emotional regulation and mental health awareness and understanding, self-management, responsible decision
So is
making.
that and you can just stop me if is that through the counseling service that you guys do, or is that
It's through the special ed department. Okay. Yeah, it's SEL. So I work with them and kind of just because I've done counseling. I have a master's degree in psychology. So I've done counseling.
Girl, I'm gonna be calling you. Be like, listen, girl, I'm on the table right now, and I just need you to counsel me through this, please.
yeah. I've done it for 7 years. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Rehabilitation, private practice, drug and alcohol, you name it. I've done it.
I told you all that this chick was a badass. I done told you that y'all needed to know who this chick was because that is just amazing. You got the masters. She's done help people. And these are people that we arm wrestle. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
These are the people that needed her. And she's right there. So, oh, I love that. I'm so proud of you. Keep slaying, Queen. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Are we going to be able to say Dr. Jesse?
Unless someone wants to pay for it. Or, I mean, never say never. But usually right now, unless someone wants to pay for it, I'm good.
Fair enough. Your school won't pay for it?
No, they want me to go get a special education endorsement so I could teach like other classes like special ed, like math, reading, writing, stuff like that.
Like a collaborative.
Yeah. So they're like they're like, we'll reimburse you. And I'm like, but I like this. I don't want to like branch out. I like what I do. This is like my little bubble.
So, right. Well, we'll talk about that later because I don't need to be broadcasting your business or asking questions about that. I just know that like with stuff like that, like for me, like and my like one of my favorite positions like dissolved, and then I had to dissolve into something and like rebuild myself into something else. Um,
Yeah.
when certain things in the educational system went away, so
Yep.
it's just, it's awful when they want it and when they want to invest in something and then it starts to work and then it starts to build and then they're like, hey, somebody else is in charge and they decided not to do this anymore. Like that is so frustrating as an educator.
Yeah, because I mean, again, I'm biased in this, but I do feel like it's very much necessary.
1000%. I do not disagree at all. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you get one person who decides that it's not, and they get elected, and they get to make the decisions, and they get to write bills, and it's just like, what? The
Yeah.
only thing that happened here in my state here recently that I'm just like, yes, is the governor finally put his foot down about cell phones. And
Yeah, yeah, here in Utah too.
yeah, they were like, in the lockers, first warning it's this, second warning it's this, third warning they are not allowed to bring it to school again. And it was like, I'm not the bad guy anymore. Like, I can just blame
Right.
it on the governor. Be like, y'all, it's an order. I'm not breaking the law. So,
Right.
because I almost did accidentally because I always had a charging station in my room to like cut down on that because I would just tell kids, hey, go charge your phone. If I saw them on it, they're like, oh yeah, it is about to die. And
It
then
always is.
it didn't have to be a thing. So I was getting ready to set that up and they were like, you can't have that. Kids can't have cell phones in here. And I was like,
You're like, all right, that's cool. Let me
right?
get rid of it.
Right. No. And then a test that they made me take that was $400. That took me 4 hours. My license was gonna go null and void on June 30th. And so I had to take it before June 30th, or I was gonna like not have my license or whatever. On July 1st, he decides that that test is null and void because it doesn't really help anything.
Yeah, gotta love that.
Yeah. But all the teachers are freaking out right now because a lot of the schools are adapting this like written curriculum where they have like a script and they're not allowed to make their own lesson plans anymore. They have to read from a script. And I was like, guys, it's gonna be like 2 years max. We're gonna have to do this because then somebody else is gonna be elected. Somebody else is gonna decide this is stupid. And then in 2 more years, they're gonna change it to where we can't copy and paste and plagiarize, and we have to come up with all organic lesson plans. So don't freak out about it. Just know that education is forever a spiral.
Yeah, heavy on the spiral.
Well, just kidding. Okay, so back to arm wrestling. I arm wrestle my students. No, just kidding. I don't. I try not to. They always want to challenge me. It's so fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Do your students know that you arm wrestle and all that stuff? Do they Google
Yeah,
you?
they do. So I haven't had the students I work with Google me, but previously when I've done counseling in like group homes or private practice, I have had people look me up just because they're like Googling my name. They want to know who they're telling their darkest secrets to. And they're like, you are Russell? And I'm like, oh yeah, I do. Like I was trying to kind of separate the personal and professional life, but a lot of people really find it cool and more like down to earth. So anytime my students have asked me though, hey, I want to arm wrestle you, I go, okay, well, there's a practice at this day and this time. And if you come here, we'll see. And they never show up. So it's like, okay. But yeah, it's
No, that's a good way to do it. I like that. I like that way. But
Well, because you're promoting it, you're telling, you're trying to get people into it. So even if they don't necessarily like it, you're just saying it to like the broader class or group, and they're like, oh, maybe I might pick that up, or I might Google, you look something up on YouTube and then get into it.
I just tell my students they have to bring me a parent note saying that if you break your arm.
I have been asked by the gym teacher at the school if I would teach an arm wrestling like class or lesson or something, and I'm like, you probably have to get some waivers signed, but sure, I'll try. I can come in. Because I know Garen Nixon with Urban Arm Wrestling League out in New York, he will go into schools and he'll put on like a training session at like either a school gym or a local community center, and he'll try to like get people to come participate and just try it out, and like, here, I know risk to you, not in like a tournament setting, just it's just for fun and practice, and really good like on the grounds promotion. So I think something like that around all schools would kind of be cool. Like I know Team Sweden
You
has
working
gone and done that.
arm wrestling in schools?
I'm trying, at least with my school. I can't guarantee like all schools, but I think that would
I
be a
think
really great place
Stephanie
to
was
start.
working with her. Weren't you working at your daughter's
Well,
district?
I asked, and they said I had to wait till next year starts. So I
Oh,
still, I wanted to start this year. Yeah,
gotcha.
when the
I
school
thought
year
when you said next year, it was like this coming year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I.
No, yeah, this coming year in September when school starts.
Oh,
That's when.
okay. Gotcha.
Well,
Gotcha.
we'll see what they say. We'll see what they say. I hope they say yes. We're ready to go.
Nice. Well, and I mean, they do that in so many countries where they are really doing some pretty significant stuff in arm wrestling is when they get it at the lower levels. And there's different opinions on like age gaps and stuff. You work in a high school, so your kids are a little, they're playing football. Arm wrestling's not more.
They got Pee-wee. They got Pee-wee football. Kids as young as what, like 8, 9,
Right.
are putting on pads and tackling people. Like, why not? And you sign a waiver for that, so why not sign a waiver for arm wrestling?
Field hockey and lacrosse is way more violent than arm
I've
wrestling.
played field hockey. It
My
definitely
grave on
is.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, cool. Well, it's almost been like I think 2 hours. So, is there anything, Jesse, that you would like to declare, or say, call out, shout out? This is the opportunity for you to just either blow up the channel.
Go subscribe to the Lucky Ones podcast.
No.
No, but I think just
everybody should hate her. She's the biggest bully.
no, I think just anyone I haven't pulled with, anyone who's remotely interested in arm wrestling, reach out, let me know, let's meet up, let's pull, let's practice, let's get on the table, and let the chalk dust settle.
Well, I do have one question. So you quit when you were 12. How old were you when you came back?
I think I was 18, if I can do my math correctly.
So you took 5 years.
Yeah, because I got into field hockey, so I played varsity field hockey for 5 years, and did track and field and stuff in high school. So that kind of took up all of my time. And then my dad also got out of it, so he was a big reason of why I even knew where tournaments were. So he, retired, took some time off, but then once I started getting back into it, my brother also was in it. We all kind of got back all around it, and we were like, oh yeah, this is fun again. So, and that was really good because we could all go to tournaments together and support each other, and it was real good.
That's the funnest when you're around everybody, like you have your group. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, your clan, your arm wrestling clan.
No, I love that. So do you want to brag on your dad a little? I know you said multiple world titles, but did you want to brag on any of the guys? We'll allow this just for this episode because he's not here. The man is the sexist one that doesn't like men.
Oh,
Which she will admit, I'm not being mean. She says it herself. Uh, but if you want to, but you don't have to. We can keep it about you.
I mean, well, I think I shouted out Julian enough. He's number 9 in North America. Well, no, in the US. The In the Hook rankings are just the
No,
US.
no, that's North American. It includes Canada. So
Okay, so number 9, left-handed, all of North America. My dad, I don't know how many times he's actually been to the Worlds. I know the most recent one was in 2004. So about 20 years ago was his last Worlds that I know of.
okay.
But I know he's gone to like Finland, Jamaica, Germany, England, Canada, all for arm wrestling. So
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations to Jesse's dad.
yeah, shout out Mike Ondrovic.
No, we're just gonna call him Jesse's dad because this is about you. Get in it.
That's fair. That's fair. I was for so long I was Mike's daughter, so
Right.
I'm
So now he
I'm
can
all
be
right with
Jesse's
it. Yeah.
dad.
He's never been on a podcast, so
Oh, ayo. Well, we got Paul Italia in the chat, so he might have to hit him up for a Legends night or something on the arm
oh
wrestling.
yeah.
And Paul was on 98 last night, egging this girl on. I was so embarrassed for her.
We're not talking.
Don't even look. That was
No,
not.
yeah. Nope. I'm well aware. I got the 411 on all that.
Well, I watched it after they went off the air, and then of course David Kotlow had to send me a little clip of it. I'm like, I already saw that.
That's old news.
That was so yesterday.
That was embarrassing.
Girls would run around going, "That was so yesterday." So yesterday. Like,
That was the song, right?
yeah, it was Hillary Duff.
Oh my gosh.
The Lizzie
God, that makes me feel old.
Do not watch. Yeah, it was something else.
They should
Um,
put like an advisory on the beginning of the episode.
Everybody's gonna want to watch it.
I think I don't know if it's still there. He said he deleted it. I don't know if he deleted the whole thing or if he just deleted that section.
You just hit up Brian Grondin. He'll send you it. He's got
He
everything
wasn't
saved.
on right then. It was the professor.
Oh, Dave saves everything too.
Poor Dave. Dave has the worst luck when he hosts that show.
I was so busy last night, and I wish I would have went on. Maybe I don't know if I would have added to or made it worse or been mean to that person. I don't.
Somebody should have told Dave because poor Dave. Somebody needed to tell him to kick her out.
I think I might have. Well, I don't remember. Never mind.
It was not all John Corbin. No, sir. I will 1000% disagree with you on that one. It was not all in fun, and she will not be fine. Anyway.
Well, it was like, I mean, it was like the guys were like egging her on, and
sometimes you just got to walk away from the table.
I'm off. Oh, her iPad died. I was like, her iPad died. It's all his fault. Ryan away. The show will play. But Dave Show is so sweet. He's not going to kick somebody out. We know that. He's not. And
poor Dave.
fair enough, Drew. Fair enough. But yeah, no, I just got clips and I was good. I didn't get to see it live, unfortunately, but or maybe fortunately. Um, but yeah, but anyway, my main concern obviously was that it was a female arm wrestler, and they have every bone in my body cries out for any time that they are exploited or in a situation that they just don't need to be in. So, because I've been there and it sucks.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, if you know, you know. If you don't, PM me.
It's in the After Hours podcast.
Depending on who you are, I might fill you in. Uh, or you might get the generic. Ask Ryan; he'll tell you.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he knows.
But yeah. So anyway, couple of housekeeping things. Before we wrap this up in about 4 minutes, is I would love to know the ladies on y'all's opinion on who we should have. I have a laundry list of ladies that I'm looking to reach out to and invite. But at the same time, there are ladies who aren't interested, and that's okay. And there's ladies that this format is not for them, and that's okay. And so I'm not exhausted. We have plenty of episodes to do, but I also want to know who the viewers would like to have. So if you can comment on this video, send me a message, or send me the actual lady so we can schedule it. That would be awesome. I want this to definitely just continue on forever and ever. I think last count there was around 600 female arm wrestlers in North America, so we could ideally have 600 episodes. So, but yeah, if you are a lady puller and you would love to hop on, we'd love to have you. And obviously Jessie's still here. She hopefully doesn't hate me and won't block me after this.
No, I'm good.
So, you will survive. You will survive.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
So, thank you everybody for tuning in. Jessie, thank you so much for coming on. You are awesome. I'm just really excited. All the best to you in 2 weeks in Ogden. I know we won't be able to broadcast the results, but we'll be able to watch them on Lock and Loaded Season 3, and I'll get to see you hopefully at the finals. I'm really hoping that ends up working out, that you're able to come out to that. And well, we might get to pull depending on what class I'm in at that point. Hashtag spoiler. But yeah, I'm super super excited to finally see you again in person here, literally 6 months later, and
yeah.
all the improvements that I'm sure that we have both made from May till now. And just continue to pull hard, continue to work hard. You're an inspiration, and I'm really honored that you agreed to come on the show. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad there's a podcast for women's arm wrestling. I feel like it's a super not like focused on thing. I think this is honestly one of like the few that have women of all levels come on. So, and when they don't have a match coming up or something. So, thank you for giving a platform to all the women pullers and do the podcast. It's fun. It's not bad.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ma'am, and you have a wonderful night. And we will see you here shortly.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
For some reason, I have to click it like 3 times for it to stop broadcasting to YouTube.